Alright, what's up guys? Got a new project, been working on it for quite a while now. Figured throw this out there, let everybody know what I'm working on. So welcome back to the channel. I think we're up to like 220 some odd subscribers. Didn't think we'd ever get that far, but not really the intent of the channel, but here we are. So the next project is going to be these spindles and coilovers. So for those of you that recognize these spindles, these are 240SX spindles and a coilover. So here's the other side spindle. So what's neat about these spindles is their rear steer. So this one would be a driver's side because it would puts the spindle to the rear. So the Ford Falcon front ends are rear steer spindles. So that's why I kind of like these. And these spindles themselves are quite a bit beefier than the Ford Falcon spindle. So I've already converted this front end over to a McPherson strut type setup, which is that right there. So I can turn the steering wheel and show you guys what it looks like underneath. So the intent is to get rid of these 4-lug hubs and go to some 5-lug hubs that I found on the net. Kind of pricey, they're almost $300 for the pair. But that'll allow me to run the standard Ford 4.5 on 5 spread. And then what I will do is pick up the 300ZX rotors and calipers, and there might be an adapter that goes here to get the caliper the right depth. But the idea is to convert these to the bigger brakes, and then that will allow me to run a 17-inch wheel on this car. And I'll have a little bit of leeway on where I could place the wheel, the wheel width and such. So yeah, so that's the next plan. So these are pretty neat. They're adjustable for height and spring, and they even have a little dampener widget up here on the top you can adjust for the bound and rebound. So these are just some Amazon widgets I found. I don't know if these will last very long or not. I have no idea. But eventually what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to build a bracket on the inside of the shock tower area here to support the top of the spindle, or the top of the coilover. So what's going to happen is these are going to go away, and I'm just going to bolt directly to that. Alright, so under the car, show you that real quick what the current front spindle setup looks like and what I've modded a long time ago. Alright, so this is currently what's in the car. So I did a Scarebird front disc brake conversion on this thing a while back. Even added front wheel speed sensor right there. And so these coils, or this McPherson strut setup, is out of like a Mitsubishi Mirage or something like that, or a Mazda 626, Mazda something. And so yeah, I pretty much just massaged the spring mount up top, and so the angles are all wrong. It's not quite, I don't know, it's held together now for over a decade and whatnot. So the idea is to replace the spindle with the 240SX spindle, and then up higher I'll have to build some bracketry that comes off this inner area to tie in the top of the coilover. So that's the intent there. And then, yeah, the rear steer of the front spindle. So what's neat is I'm going to gain quicker steering because the arm length is shorter on the Nissan spindles than the factory spindles. I'm going to have to get creative with that outer tie rod, but that's kind of the idea.